In the 2007 to 2008 financial crisis, the term too big to fail was used to justify government bailouts of big banks and major financial corporations. The view was that in the bigger financial ecosystem, these institutions were so intricately interconnected that if they failed, everything else connected to them could fail. I'm Dr. Lisa Ann Chung, political leadership strategist, author of the book Political Change, and president for Kenley College. This too big to fail thinking has actually been used to justify mismanagement. Do you know what happens when you justify or you reward mismanagement? It creates more mismanagement, and it continues to spiral out of control. How many political parties have been kept in power because of this whole thing of, we don't have anywhere else to look. This is all we have to work with. And many people continue to vote for either one party or the next because they're too big to fail. But maybe, just maybe, the tides are turning in this season of political change. And maybe, just maybe, some of the people who previously would never have had a chance and were never given a chance will now be given that chance. This whole two-party system of power, particularly in Western society, for better or worse, it's been operating all of these years, generation after generation, because of this thinking of too big to fail. And what about the individual leaders in power? Where do they fit into this? Some of them also feel they're too big to fail. They're too proud. They've got this. They're completely arrogant about their position of power because they are too big to fail. Or are they? And it reminds me of an ancient proverb that says, pride comes before disaster and an arrogant attitude before a fall. One of the principles that I mentioned in my book, Political Change, if you haven't got it, good time to get it, is that pride is a demotivator for change. So what are some of the changes that might be necessary? One, there might need to be change in your personal life. Do you know that personal factors can and often do have public implications? Two, you may need to have some changes in the way you lead. Do you take time and listen to the people? Because it's when you listen to them, you will hear what they want. You will hear what they need. And if you know what they need, and if you know what they want, well, then it's so much easier to respond appropriately to their needs and wants. Third thing, there may need to be changes in your political party. One of the things that is happening for a number of parties is they're losing touch with their base. And so there might need to be change in what's happening with the party. Like, you've moved away from the party values. You've moved away from the foundation of the party and the good, possibly, that the party was bringing. And so the change is, what do you need to do to go back to genuinely, my words, hear my word, to genuinely reconnect with your base so that you can get back to foundation? The other stuff will follow if you get back to the foundation. And the fourth thing is that there might need to be major changes in the direction the nation needs to take. Now, why this one, the changes in the direction that the nation needs to take, may require more courage, is because there's a lot of things going on here. One is, you're changing the direction you're headed in. Another one is, you have to be prepared that you may lose some of the people that want you to stay in that direction. Another is that you now have to explain to people why you're changing. And then you have to get them to believe that your desire for this change and what you see, why you see the change is necessary, is actually for the good of the nation. And you've got to convince them you're doing it because you truly see that it will bring the change and the benefit that the nation needs. So don't allow pride to blind you to the need for change. Pride can cause you to keep your ears and your eyes closed. You keep them closed to anything that says the change is necessary. And when you constantly keep your eyes closed and your ears closed, shut off from hearing what people are saying, not listening to the people, and your eyes are completely shut, well, a crush is inevitable, isn't it? But when you lead from humility, not pride, but humility, and I've got to say real humility, because sometimes people have this false humility. Like, where does that come from? But when you lead from humility, and by that I'm talking about authenticity, you get to connect with people in new ways, in real ways. And if your eyes are open, you'll start to head in the right direction. So if you're wise enough to move pride out of the way, and that pride that's blinding you from common sense leadership, you will see more clearly to better lead the way to change. And to get more information so that you can lead the way to better change and not be the subject of a great fall, get the book, Political Change. There's a link to how to do that in the description box. See you next time. Bye for now.